and gentlemen, we are now approaching to land at McKinley Airport. Would you please fasten your seatbelts for preparation for landing? Thank you.
I'm on my way to one of the most extreme places on Earth, the AFAR region of Ethiopia. Very few foreigners ever come here. Even Ethiopians mythologize this part of their country as a harsh land of savages. I'm looking for an extraordinary Australian woman who has made her life here. She told me I would find her in Konaba, in the mountains on the edge of the AFAR.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Manai.
Nagaya. Manai. Nagaya sana. Manai.
Here, Valerie Browning is Malika, a name which means angel in AFAR. For nearly 20 years, Valerie has travelled amongst these nomadic people, and now they see her as one of them. Valerie first came to Ethiopia as a missionary nurse during the famine in the early 70s. She was only 20, and what she saw changed her forever.
I'd had children die on my knee. I remember one woman, all 3 of her children died on my knee in the space of a day. And I'd never thought about that as a 20-year-old training in a suburban hospital in Sydney, and I was confronted with it in such a raw way. I had to do something, you know.
17 years ago, Valerie moved to Ethiopia from suburban Sydney and married Ismail, an AFAR elder. Together they've devoted their lives to helping the AFAR, a forgotten people at the bottom of the ladder in one of the poorest countries in the world.
In the whole AFAR region, we don't have one doctor. In the whole AFAR region, we have one engineer who's an AFAR. I think we're in some form of race here for the survival of the AFAR as an identified nation. I think we're one of the people on Earth who are in danger of becoming extinct as a people.
AFAR women in particular have incredibly difficult lives and do most of the physical work. They're seen as a possession in marriage and suffer traditional practices such as female circumcision. All things Valerie is determined to change.
Hi, Olivia.
Yeah?
Now the plan is we go to Ferris Duggy to see if we can pick up some women. These 2 girls will stay, and Ali will stay.
For the next couple of days, Valerie will travel from village to village, looking for 14 women to train as leaders and teachers. They'll then show other women that they too can improve their lives.
If you knew honestly the root of the misery of these women, I mean, as a woman myself, and you yourself, well, I mean, we shouldn't tolerate it. I mean, I've had all the opportunities as a woman. I can rush up to anything and say what I please. I've got the confidence to do that. But these girls, no. They repress it, they repress it, they repress it until they hurt themselves, kill themselves. Right?
When we arrive in the village of Ferris Duggy, Valerie gets her message across bluntly and as often as she can.
اهلا وسهلا. اهلا منا يا نقايتني نقايتني صاروا معي هذا نبمه ومطمعين Umata me, sata be waiting, another man, Marta. Sota benek, neck mame.
Yeah. Hi.
Baisana, Alcohol Biakisana, Meko.
No,
Hallos.
All AFAR practice female genital mutilation, or FGM. Part or all of a young girl's external genitalia are removed, and then she's stitched up to a small hole.
Mostly it's done between the age of 2 days to 10 days. The other time, in some societies of the AFAR, they do it as late as 6 to 10 years old. In fact, we make films ourselves, and we do a lot of awareness raising by films and using a generator. And we've made a film on FGM, and we went to a part of the AFAR where that part said they particularly liked the practice and they wanted to continue it. So we said to them, if you want to continue, then show us. And they said, welcome. So we filmed them. We film them doing it, and it absolutely appalls and disgusts, and a lot of people can't watch the film because it's so horrible. And it really shows. And AFAR people say they didn't realise that this is what they actually do. It's an actual mutilation of part of the girl's body. It's very, very horrible. You know, I mean, she's got no anaesthetic, no nothing, and they're cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. It's horrible, quite horrible.
It's an enormous job to try to change AFAR culture. But because of her unusual status, Valerie's able to speak up and challenge the taboos.
One man told me, one time I was laughing, he said, there's a thing in AFAR called Mablo, which is judgment, which is mostly supposed to be directed by men. And he told me to get into the Mablo, and I said, I can't, I'm not a man. He said, well, what do you think you are then? And I said, well, I thought I was a woman, did my uncle. He said, you're not a woman, that's for sure. And I said, well, what am I then? He said, well, I don't really know. So I think I'm the third sex. I come between.
This region is on record as being the hottest inhabited place on Earth. A large part of the AFAR is below sea level and never gets rain.
Water is the biggest need of the AFAR. The greatest need is, and people die every year of thirst, every year. Recently somebody died, not far from where I was.
Of thirst?
Yeah, of thirst.
A river like this and the chance to bathe are a rare treat.
This is beautiful. This is close to heaven.
We're on our way to Balbal, the only village which hasn't replied to Valerie's request for women. But with rugged terrain and no roads to speak of, our cars come to a standstill. Despite temperatures that regularly reach 50 degrees, like the AFAR, Valerie does a lot of her travel on foot, and she's hard to keep up with.
Oh, I mean, for me, I like the heat. I think I wouldn't do well in cold climate. I think I'd die. I once went to a meeting in Sweden, an AFAR meeting in Sweden, and a funniest thing, because they had AFAR from the government who went, and all sorts of AFAR, and they're standing on the street in Sweden in the middle of Christmas, and one saying to the other, now touch that stuff, and the other one saying, well, you do it first, and the other said, no, I'm not going to touch, I really refuse, and they were just looking at snow, and they were So where are we going right now? What's happening here? I think they're burying a person. I think that's what's going on. Prayer time. 5-year-old child died. We're discussing the fact that in fact, this little boy, he probably died of malaria. The father said he had a terrifically blown-up stomach. It was probably from anemia. Asan at adet, a day wadi adet. Makin odi dodi day robin. Lakin ma lakin ma. Aso adara baygurun. What a sad day, eh? They're discussing our situation now. Yeah, and they want to make the road in, bring the cars in, so we can sleep here tonight. I think I was put here almost. That seems a bit stupid to say. I myself have a very strong belief in God, and I think that maybe the weird character I have is something that can be used for the AFAR. I'm not frightened to do things, and I've had the enormous privilege through living here of learning right inside what is poverty. And that's amazing, because there are very few Western people who really honestly know what is poverty. Poverty is not just a material low. It's a mental power low. It's powerlessness. It's speechless. You can't. Nobody's going to listen to you. Why? Salam alaikum.
The people of Balbal have heard Valerie can help their sick children. With the nearest clinic several days' walk from here, they're keen to have their children treated.
This is it's a very quick check, but it's quite a easy check of nutrition of the child. This one is a little bit borderline. Koinako. Yeah. Anggohan lito yan. Huh? Lito. Memapti.
For the past 5 years, these people have suffered a terrible drought. Most of their livestock died, and the animals left stopped producing milk, an essential food source for the children, who are now malnourished and sick.
But he's not too bad at all, but I mean, if he got sick, he'd go down the chute very fast.
The infant mortality rate in the AFAR region is a shocking 35%. Nearly all the children in this village have malaria, and many more will die without treatment.
Malaria makes them vomit, it gives them fever at night. This one's got the beginning of anemia. The little baby is vomiting a lot. So we'll see. I mean, all we've got with us is chloroquine tablets. Garbel. Bas. Habtit. Tona bekwadi.
أجا ما معي تاتي وأنا الفروكا كادو صدق كذا هاي ده أجابوا دوابي عايزنا
It turns out that this old man is father, grandfather and great-grandfather to most of the children Valerie is treating.
من تاجي على ستاجي.
يا أخي كيبولي تو. أكو تيكر.
لا يكون حيل صدر عستيو. أفنيك يا لا. وربك جماعة كسينام أسسني نانكم فاندا.
ما لا بلي أسسانام. تكملي. تكملي.
أنا سيدور dalam فرح.
مالي. خلاص 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 ورثة فوحة فما قدينا رحي
Tonight we go to bed like everyone else in Balbal, on the hot earth, exposed to malaria-carrying mosquitoes. In the morning, the men have gathered to discuss sending women to study with Valerie. Respecting custom, Valerie waits on the sidelines with a couple of her teachers. They share her ambition for change, but not her confidence. Valerie doesn't stand on ceremony for long. AFAR men need to be convinced women's education is in their interest. They are sceptical about offers of help from outsiders. They have bitter memories of the time they moved thousands of rocks under instructions from the World Bank.
سينما كوكا ديت عوكي مرك بكيتنك مانغو لا خمسة مراي مسانجل كان جنبي كده مانغو السبب تكل فوت هني بيروب بردارين نيني عم بري عرانا لكا جدنا يك ما معنا أنا بريسيني مين وداني مسيني مين ننو سنان تماتين محبنا أفاك اللوكس جناما كومريا ماتي وكوما تراهنا ماتي وكا وندوي كأنه نقص جناما قبل تسو ملكام مركا أفر فيه بريتك ولا ينكعنجر نهر إسانا ما أكل دعارك مول.
Although they're nervous about her request, these men respect and trust Valerie. They know that she lives like them and shares their suffering.
لكن توه سامي أوري أبارو مردينا تواري أسامي نو بحانم فنا سي نم غبا سيفرني إيانما كي داي لبا غبا أصلي عافية تحيري هاجدي سن جايسي سامفنا سن ورسام فنا هاجد لينون ها تو سبتا نيلي تاما مرا دورتانا مي ها كني تامي تام دورا مرا جهلو أبام دورا مرا ها اسم مرا كهنلون مرا ها
أنا جالسة مري ومان برتي هي من توي مبلوي هايستوي ترمي تبي ما برتان إن كادو أكيديني هو إن كادو ما عاد برتلوني أنا مهنا سني ديني سني عدالوك سني كادو اللي لنا سني برك اللي متننا الدكالوك سنفنا يا ماتني كده كلها أكيد نال و جرسي تأبيكي جرسي بريتوكي أكيد نال كادو دينك يا بريتوي هنا وهو تارجين فدين قد جاي تاكيدو وكلهن.
In the end, her perseverance and hard work paid off. Each village Valerie went to sent 2 of their women. A few days later, Valerie's students have gathered in the village of Wahadis for their first lesson.
In the head, in the head, in the head. Oh, I see. In the head, wadi. Alki manal tomate. Anna tomate, Anna tomate, Anna tomate, Anna helikna, Anna helikna, Anna helikna. Wait. Ya wadi. Anna to wadi. Ango arisna.
Possibly the most important job these young women will learn is to make childbirth safer for the people in their villages. More than 10% of AFAR women die when they give birth.
The worst experiences are pulling out a live baby from a dead mother. Things like that are horrible, and you try hard, you eventually find the head, pull the head out to get the child out. The child is alive, and the mother froths blood from the mouth and nose and dies. She goes into heart-lung failure. That's shocking, shocking.
Valerie can't imagine ever living in Australia again. Despite the heat and hardship here, or perhaps because of it, there's nowhere else she'd rather be.
How long do you think you'll do this kind of work for?
I don't know, I couldn't say, but I don't think I will. I don't look to a retirement age or a retirement time. My daughter keeps saying, what about it? But I think one day they'll just find me dead and put stones on top. I think that's the case, yeah. And I'm quite happy with that. That's fine.